What's the Car Talk podcast?
Hello and welcome back to the Car Talk podcast, a show where we talk about the latest car news and the latest transportation opinion. I'm your host Bailey, and this week I'm joined by Matty from Matty's Cars as usual. How you doing, Matty?
I'm not too bad this week, thanks. We're doing a filler episode this week because we couldn't book our guest in time.
Yes, so we're just doing a podcast mainly on car news, because to be fair, there is quite a lot this month, which is quite good.
It must be a leap year.
Yeah, it must be. Yeah. Shall I start, Matty? I know we've got like 3 Bentleys to talk about.
Yeah.
So I guess we could all sort of link that together, if you want.
Yeah.
Cool.
Start us
let's
off.
talk about the. Well, there's 2 sort of new luxury Bentleys coming. There's the Bentley Baccala. I don't even know if that's how you say it, but only 12 of these will be made. Each with a unique colour designed by the customer, and it will have a 6-litre W12 with 650 horsepower. Now, I don't know actually how much it costs, but judging by the photos, it looks rather expensive, as obviously a lot of Bentleys are.
I've got them here, yeah.
It sort of looks like a Genesis in a way, like the grille and the lights.
It does. It doesn't look very Bentley, does it? It looks quite modern.
It does. It's a very modern design for Bentley, and I do find myself liking it. Now it is a convert. I think they're only doing a convertible version. That's the car. It's a convertible Bentley basically, but obviously the interior is going to be pretty lovely. It's got nice yellow trim on the one I'm seeing at the moment, and yeah, it's got all the. So I think it's all digital now as well. Like there's no sort of old style dash, there's no old style dials, it's all just a bit digital, which I'm not necessarily a fan of, but I suppose it's
that will upset the old people as well, and
it will. Yeah,
they love their Bentleys, don't they?
They do, yes. Now you've got a new new Bentayga, Matty, to share with us.
Well, yeah. Let me ask you the question: have you ever wanted an art gallery on wheels?
Not really, no.
Well, anyway, Bentley have released one anyway in association with the EWB Mulliner Gallery,
Nice.
and it's going to debut at Monterey, wherever that is. But this is a one-off Bentley Bentayga, and the only difference is that it's got an extended wheelbase, but it is, and I quote, a gallery on wheels.
What's the name of it? Is it just is it EWB then?
Yeah, Bentley Bentayga EWB Mulliner Gallery.
Nice. That's a
mouthful.
Basically the same as the one they've made already. But to be fair, did they really need to make it any bigger? Because it was a pretty long car to start with, wasn't it?
Definitely. I don't know what this is for. It's a little bit like when I don't know if you remember on the Top Gear news when they covered the long wheelbase Rover 75, and they literally said the only person that's going to buy this is the mayor of Preston. And
yeah, that is the same sort of thing.
This is a Bentley, so maybe the mayor of Ascot or
maybe yes.
Yeah, London,
or City
like
of Westminster or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on to the third Bentley this week, we have it's a Bentley called Batur. I don't know what they're going with these names. It's all sort of very. I don't want to say it like rudely, but it's all very Araby based, isn't it? Like sort of names.
It's almost like they're going, God, boys, can anyone think of something that begins with B? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they all seem to begin with
They must have meanings. I don't know what the meanings are personally, but they must have some sort of meaning in the name. But this Bentley in particular looks actually very nice. I think it's better than the one previously that I just mentioned. It's also got a 6-litre W12, so like the other one. It's a bit more power, 740 horsepower with 1,000 torque, which is quite ridiculous. But my favourite part, Matty, about this, if you look at the interior, it has a fully gold, I think it's pure gold, driving selector, which is very Bentley. It's a nice touch. And obviously that will appeal to the Arabs. But in terms of the looks, what do you think? I think it looks very good. Quite a nice mod. But again, it's sort of very Genesis-like, isn't it?
Yeah, let me just double check. I'm on the Bentley Batur. Yeah?
That is the one, yes.
The Grand Tourer, yeah. Again, looks very, very Genesis. Yeah, I was trying to think of I thought Genesis was wrong, but it is Genesis. That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah, because the saloon ones they do look very much like that, and I know you hate them. I know that you said when I first said it on the podcast, you were like, "Oh, that's horrible."
It is just another Infinity.
Yes, technically yes.
Watch them flop.
I don't think I've even seen one on the road, or have they not been released yet?
I think they have been released. Yeah, it's just you're the only one interested in them.
Yes, that's probably true. Have you got anything else to share with us, Matty, that's not Bentley?
Yes, I've got something more interesting than Bentley and than Genesis. This was music to my ears when I read this news the other day. Alfa Romeo struggling the past 20, 30, just since they were born, really struggling brand. But they are to launch a new large electric. We've got to get with the times. Electric saloon in 2027. No SUVs, no Fiat 500 derived super minis. Still waiting on a new Spider, but this is good news. And have you seen the pictures?
No, I have not.
Take a look at the picture where it says this is how it could look. But this is to rival the BMW 5 Series. It's going to be a large electric car on sale 2027. And basically it's going to be in a range of Alfa Romeos that are fully electric. So the whole lineup will be electric by 2027.
Okay. It does look quite nice, actually. It's got very much like Giulia vibes to it, isn't it?
See, that to me looks like a proper Alfa Romeo.
Yes.
Reg plate on the right side, grille, lights, everything. I'm just sweeping back the shape of it. It's gorgeous. I love it. It
is gorgeous, yeah. The only thing that's missing about it, Matty, is I would say a V6 in there. I would think a V6 in that would be perfection.
You never know, they might do a special edition. It's coming out 3 years before the ban, so you never know.
Yeah, that's true, actually. But knowing where everything's going, I think they want to make the cars just all electric if they're going to make it, those sort of saloon cars. If they do like a sport one, maybe they would put like a V6 in it or something. Or a 4-cylinder.
I think it's actually only Volkswagen that has 2 separate production lines, one for electric, one for internal combustion. I don't think any of the other car manufacturers would be able to afford to, so they basically just buy the technology off everyone else to do their electric cars,
Yeah, it makes sense. Following on from that, Matty, have you heard about synthetic fuel?
I've heard bits, but what is it?
So essentially, it's like normal petrol, but it's basically it's using to make it. You use water and you mix it with the carbon dioxide that's already in the air. So actually, when you put it in a car, it runs the same and it's the same sort of thing, but it actually doesn't release any carbon dioxide, which I think is so much better than hydrogen, because it means you don't have to scrap all the engines and things, and you can still produce internal combustion, but there's actually no extra pollution, so it's carbon neutral at the end of the day.
Why didn't we think of this before?
I don't know, but Porsche is sort of focusing on it mainly, and they're doing it on their new cars. Yes, so it's their idea, and hopefully.
Did Porsche think of it?
I think so. Yeah, for their racing cars and stuff, which is how it started out. I might be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure, because I was watching one of the new Top Gears. Weirdly, I don't normally do that, but there was a video where there was a segment where they were driving a Lamborghini SVJ and the new GT3, and they were talking about synthetic fuel and how both the cars that they were driving at that point, which obviously you've all got, Lamborghini got the V12 and the Porsche's got the flat 6, and they're both running on synthetic fuel, which is pretty much the same as petrol. It's just produced in a different way, and it doesn't pollute, which is perfect, really.
That really is good news, yeah.
It really is good news, and I really hope that picks up. I mean, we definitely need to talk about that in more detail in a future podcast.
We should get an expert on to talk about that, definitely.
Yes.
While we're on, viewers, you may have just heard something there. I'd just like to apologise on behalf of the podcast that Bailey's been watching new Top Gear. But anyway, moving on.
I would like to talk about a new Mercedes, Matty. Now, I did visit Mercedes-Benz World because you've come there as well with me. Haven't you?
I've been to Mercedes-Benz World.
You have. And this is a place, if you're not aware of it, it's a place where it's, I think it's one of... Yes, well, it used to be at least, because I went in there recently, and they've just all got a really boring lineup of cars. I don't know what Mercedes are doing at the moment. I think all the cars they're making are sort of a very, very mid. You know, they're very sort of just like, that's okay, but it's not really that fulfilling. It's that will do. That was it's just to get along and make some sales. And we sat in some new cars, and the new C-Class is very nice. But they've released a new car, and it's the EQS, which we already had, but they're making a Maybach version of the SUV EQS, and they're saying it's an ultra luxury SUV with 530 horsepower. Now, I don't know if you've seen the pictures, Matty. It looks very much the same as the original EQS SUV. So there's not much new there, but obviously the interior has been a bit more revamped.
Is this a concept at the moment? Yeah,
I think it isn't. I think it is released. Like, he's going to release
concept. Mercedes Maybach EQS.
Yeah, but it's to say a concept, but I think it might release next year. But the pictures that you're looking at about the
have you seen the vase in the back?
No, I haven't.
I
have.
It comes with a vase.
That's really luxury. Funny, actually. That's what they mean by ultra luxury. You have a garden in your rear seating, a Japanese garden. Anyway, but that should release next year, but I'm not sure yet.
Well, if I were you and I was looking for a bit of luxury and a bit of floral decoration in your car, I'd just buy a revived Volkswagen Beetle, because when they were new, they came with a bunch of flowers on the dashboard. So, of course, save yourself £150,000.
Well, that is
bit of consumer advice.
There. Yeah, it is.
It really is.
I've got quite a few big supercars, Matty. So I might start off with the Aston Martin that I've got written down, and it is the new DBR 22. And this looks fantastic, but it's obviously got, if you notice, Matty, it's got no front windscreen, and it's one of those sort of speedster cars that we never asked for.
I'm finding it now. 2 seconds.
No worries. I'll give you a bit of information about it. It's an open cockpit speedster, obviously, as I've mentioned. It's got a 5.2 V12, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And do you know what the problem is with these cars, Matty? Is they look fantastic, yeah, but they're so unpractical. And who's going to look at that and go, yes, I want that as my daily driver?
And it doesn't really scream Aston Martin either, does it? It looks like something like it's been made in a shed, doesn't it? It doesn't look particularly... You know what I mean? No, it gives me sort of TVR, Lotus vibes.
It almost gives me the... do you remember the SLR... what was it? The Sterling Moss? That was like an open top speed, so like this. And they're super rare, but the reason for that is because no one bought them, because it's just like they're so impractical. They only kind of they're more art.
The SLR Sterling Moss, yeah.
And that is and this is going to be 1.5 million. So this is also pretty expensive. I kind of treat these sort of cars as like pieces of art rather than maybe being a practical driving sort of experience. But I don't know what your thoughts on it are.
No, leave it to the enthusiasts. They don't interest me. I don't get me wrong, and do a track day and one or something, but
yeah.
Just speaking of car names, this podcast, we've obviously spoke about the varieties of Bs, the Bentleys, the Bentayga, the other ones, Bentley Bastard and all that. But we've also had mentioned cars today like the EQS. What have we just had then? The DBR9.
DBR 22. So they did do DBR9.
22. And all of these names are... Well, the ones that aren't just letters and numbers are more creative, obviously, but car names now aren't particularly exciting, are they?
I agree with you. I think they don't have the spark, and they do like Mustang or Genesis, that sort of thing.
Espace.
Yeah, Spass. Like even how terrible that car was. It was a fantastic name.
Fantastic name, isn't it? It's so underrated, that name. I love saying that. People think I'm mad for saying that. But if you would like a van that just screams tacky, it sort of gives me, I don't know, it reminds me of like a prostitute or something like that. Just from its name, but the new Nissan Townstar has been revealed, the prices, the specs, and the sale date. What do you think of that? Again? The Nissan Townstar van.
Townstar van.
It's a van. Yeah, no, it's not just Townstar. So it's just a van, but it's called the Townstar. Imagine fucking talking with the lads on the building site. I go, "Oh, have you got the new van? What's that?" "Oh, I've got a Townstar."
Mate, that actually looks so dreary, but the name is just like it wants me to own it. I want to own it just for the name.
It's fucking awful. I was just looking underneath this. I mean, it's going to be based on the latest Renault Kangoo.
Yes, it looks very similar.
The Kangoo, I think the Kangoo is a cool name, but even that, like you know, when they first came out, I bet you a few people got mocked for that, and Renault Kangoo. Yeah. But and apparently later this year, Fiat are releasing their own version of this Townstar van called the Fiat Lady of the Night.
No way, is that actually a thing?
No, I just made that up.
I was gonna say.
But yeah, Nissan Townstar, petrol or fully electric, no diesel engine.
Shame.
Yeah.
But to be fair, vans I think are fine, being electric. Especially if they are
just bread vans, yeah.
If they've got loads of just things in the boot, you need the extra torque that the electric motors give off to go a bit faster. Because you know what they're like, they're up your arse all the time, so they'll like the new torque. I like to talk about a new Polestar, Matty, and as you know, Polestar is quite recent.
There's another dodgy name, isn't it?
Yeah, there's an odd name.
Imagine the Polestar Townstar.
That would actually be quite funny. But this one's not very inspiring. It's the Polestar 6, which is, I don't know where they're getting the numbers from it. Have they even gone up in order? Or were they just literally just doing random letters or numbers? I don't know.
God, that looks dreary, doesn't it?
It looks, yes. I mean, this has had some mixed opinions about it. I think it kind of looks like it's basically what 1980s people thought the future of cars would look like. And when they have like futuristic cars in like Back to the Future, that's sort of the stuff that would be in it. It's very sort of blocky, if you ask me.
Yeah.
All the sort of angles are very rigid, and it's just it's an interesting one. But
so
I think it looks.
What is it? It's a roadster, is it, or is it just a poser? What is it for?
Doing a roadster, and they're doing a hardtop version. It's a dual motor setup with 800 horsepower, which is kind of ridiculous. And it's it's going to cost 150k. Which I don't know if that kind of justifies the price. I don't think I would spend 150k on it. That's what I would say.
No.
And it's coming in 2026. So we don't have to see it for a while, which is good.
That's good. I'll have to prepare my soul for that one.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I won't see any. I don't think I will.
No. They look quite luxury based, but yeah. Anything else, Matty, that you have that's exciting?
Well, the last one I have is just a headline, really, that I read. Nearly 3/4 of drivers have almost had a car crash. So I think
really?
a quarter.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me.
I think everybody's nearly had a car crash. So I think a quarter of the driving public are lying. Don't you? Who do you know?
You're right.
That, like everyone I've ever spoke to who drives. Like, at some point, they've told me a story, or if I've told them a story, they've told me one back about how someone's nearly crashed into them, or they've nearly, because someone's jumped a set of lights or something. Every single person that drives who I've ever laid eyes on has
100%.
Nearly had a car crash. So, who are these quarter lucky people? So, 72% have nearly had a near miss. Who's the other 28%? You know,
is that survey based on people that drive, or is that the population?
Research shows that 72% of drivers have had a near miss, while drivers also estimate that they see around 14 incidents of illegal driving every week.
I don't see how they would measure that.
I know, yeah. I mean, these must be doing a better job than the police then, really, if they can see people.
Well, exactly.
On
The
phones,
police are clearly not doing their job then, are they?
Jumping red lights, etc. Yeah. But
maybe the other 28% is people who live in Scotland, because bear in mind there's literally nothing up there. There's literally just Ann Road and Ann Field, and that's it.
Well, this survey was carried out by Nextbase, who make the dash cams, for the dash cam wankers. But I
do actually like those videos. The ones
I'm waiting to see myself on one of those Inside Motors videos. I cannot wait. Not that I'm a bad driver, viewers.
There's one that I watch, and it's on YouTube, and it's called UK Dashcam, which is a very original name. And the one that he submits it, and you can submit your clip in there and stuff. And I think they do a compilation every Sunday, and I always watch them. It's really funny because it's quite. To be fair, from a driver's point of view, I can learn from what people are doing in that video and how to avoid that sort of situation, which is quite interesting when I in practice. Not that most of the time that I get cut up or anything that much, but it's always handy to sort of think how can I avoid that in real life in that similar situation, which is quite handy. But yeah, that's a very interesting bit of news there, Matty, about the people. I definitely disagree with that, because I think everyone's had at least one near miss. And a lot of people just won't admit it either. That's probably what the 28% is. So it's definitely
a quarter of the population are liars. Sorry, driving population.
I think it's more than that, personally, as general people go nowadays. Let's talk about the new Porsche GT3, Matty. Now, we touched upon this probably about last year when they released it, but obviously now they've released the RS model, which is being very much anticipated. Now, if you look at the pictures, I'm sure you've seen it. It's been across the news quite a bit for cars. And I think it looks bloody amazing. The rear wing on it is kind of ridiculous, but I think I like how they've gone back to sort of like the late 2000s, early sort of.
I do, yeah. You'd think that was old, wouldn't you? But not old in a bad way. Do
you remember the GT3 RS 4 litre that they did, and it had that sort of red trim, with the red wheels and the yellow brake calipers? Do you remember that particular model? That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah,
and I really like that model.
Vaguely, yeah, but it just looks so just stripped back, and it's just not a fussy car at all, is it? It's not.
It's a proper driver's car, and I'm really starting to love Porsche a lot now that I've sort of matured. I know I haven't matured that much, but I'm maturing and I'm getting there, and I'm really liking these Porsches that they release, and I've just overall just started to like them. But it's because I've you sort of look at them and you sort of see how they drive, and they're just they are proper drivers' cars, and it's what I want to see. And obviously we've mentioned that they're doing the synthetic fuel stuff, so they're keeping all the engines going. But some interesting stats about the car, Matty, that you might be interested in is it's got a 4 litre flat 6 naturally aspirated, which is like the one that I've mentioned before, earlier on. It's got the most power that it's had in I think a 911 GT3 RS. It's got 525 horsepower. And it's got, if you look at the design, you can see how much, you can just see how much downforce it has by looking at it.
It's only 195k as well, which I think is reasonable.
Yeah, that's all right. That's still a lot of money.
No, I know. Yeah,
I would totally pay that money for that. To be honest with you,
I think Porsche and Hyundai, as we've mentioned, are my favourite anyway at the minute, car designers wise, just with what they're doing and what they plan to do in the future and that,
Definitely, yes. Now we've got this is another sort of big bit of news, Matty, that's quite recent as well. Now I don't know if you've seen this, but it's the new Dodge. And now we mentioned on the last podcast that Dodge is going electric. I think you mentioned that, didn't you? Yes, so this is the first electric car that they're doing. And if you type in a Dodge Charger EV, you'll be able to see what they've just announced. Now, I think it looks actually really good. Like, the design of it is it's very Dodge. It's what I think a modern Dodge would look like. So I think they've done a really good job on the design.
Is this like the two-door estate thing that you're...
Yeah, it's a saloon, but it's got two doors.
Wow.
And it's the black one. I'm sure you've seen the pictures.
Yeah.
I'll put it on screen. But overall, Matty, I think it looks fantastic. Like, the design, and they've done a really good job with the design. I think what they've done is they've mixed the Challenger and the Charger together. Because I think I don't know which one has the four doors. I think it's the Charger. So they've mixed the Challenger doors. They've got the roof lining, the Challenger, and they mixed it with Charger, basically.
Carbon fibre door mirrors.
Yes. But the problem I have with it, and I'm sure a lot of a lot of people have the same problem as me, is there's a video of them testing it in the studio and stuff. And basically what it does, it's electric, but it makes a noise. Like, it tries to replicate a V8 sound using, I don't know what it is. And this in concept, it sounds pretty good, but if you need to go into a video, and after the podcast, Matthew, you need to listen to it, because it literally sounds like one of those really old computer car games, like, those really terrible sounds they use for old. Yeah. Like the original Gran Turismo sound. It sounds worse than that. So I'd rather them just not have a sound at all. That's how bad it is. So I think that's put a lot of people off the idea of, buying it. Or people like the look of it and they just want to swap a V8 into it, which is probably what I'd do. So that's a big bit of news this month. But what are your thoughts on it, Matty, like as a car?
It's... classic Dodge. It's great. I think it's cool. When I say it's great, I wouldn't buy one, but I like the way that Dodge have got their own identity and they've always stuck with it. It is just a shame that they've sounds anyway, from what I've heard from you, like they've tried and failed to replicate the good old days within an electric motor. But I don't know, maybe technology will move on or whatever, or Dodge will just decide to go back to gasoline, man. It's the only way. They might do synthetic fuel as well.
That would be good, actually. But I think the main reason why people are annoyed, because all of the drivers of these sort of cars are very big, big beefy V8 drivers that love their backwards caps and burgers, and that's why I don't think this would appeal to them, because it's very much toned down from a noisy V8, and the noise that they've added is so off-putting. Like it would drive you mental, I think, because it's like it's not even like, it doesn't go with how fast you're going. It's just a playback sound of a car, pretty much, and it's out of the. I think how it's produced is it's produced through, like, I don't know if it's like speakers or something. It's obviously speakers, but it's I don't know if it tries to replicate the sort of RPM in the engine by using the electric motor. I'm not sure. I'll have to sort of, look into that a bit more when it sort of releases. But that's that piece of news, and I'm a bit unhappy about it overall. Have you got anything else, Matty, or was that your last one earlier?
No, that's it for me. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we've got two more cars to talk about. Three more cars. There's a lot of car news, especially this month. But there's a new Bugatti, Matty. Not that we needed another one, because
I've seen this.
Can afford them.
It looks awful.
It's called I don't know if it is. Have you seen this one, or is it the one that I?
Go on, hit me.
It's the Bugatti Mistral, is what it's called. If you have a look at the photos, it looks very much like the one-off car they did. That I can't remember the name of it. It was like some sort of Italian name, and it was like a one-off, and it was like 12 million euro or something. Yeah, it's got very much design based off that. Now this is a car that's pretty much the same as the last one in terms of engine wise. It's got the 8 litre W16, 1,600 horsepower, 260 miles an hour, and they're only making 99 of them, which I think is quite a lot for a Bugatti, because they only usually make like 20 of them. So this would be more accessible, but I don't think the price tag will be particularly good, because it's standing at about €5 million.
Imagine paying €5 million for a car that from the front looks like a pig's head.
And that has the same engine.
The way that grille sticks out, and just the way it's all like almost like a triangle, it looks like a pig's snout, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's awful.
It does. You know what? You saying that now, I can really see it. I thought it was quite good looking before, but now it's just sort of, that's really stuck out to me now.
Stick with me, you'll learn a lot.
So that's that. Yes, very true, Matty, as I have over the years. And the final two cars we have here, there's a... Well, what do you want me to talk about first, Matty? I've got a new McLaren or a new Koenigsegg.
Koenigsegg.
Yes, the Koenigsegg I'm most excited about as well, because it's a reimagined CC 8S. You know, they did like back in early 2000s.
Yeah.
There was the very lime green colour one.
Yeah.
Now this is called the CC 850. And the best thing about this... Well, it's not only the looks, it looks fantastic. It looks like, you know, the car that they're revamping, but not in a too modern way. And it's basically got a 5-litre twin-turbo V8 with 1,300 horsepower. And my favourite part about it, Matty, and you'll be mind-blown about this, I don't even know how it works, but the spec it comes in, it's a 6-speed manual.
Right.
But it can be also a 9-speed automatic, so you can choose whether you want to have a manual or an automatic.
Oh, does it have a clutchless gearbox, does it?
Think so, but it's got a 6-speed manual in the same
shift
gearbox as, yeah, like a stick shift, like a normal manual car. Yeah. But it's got a 6-speed, and then also you can put it into an automatic 9-speed. Now I'm not sure how that works, but I think that sounds immense. So that's perfect for all occasions. So if you go to London, you can put it in the automatic.
Yeah.
Or if you're on the motorway. But if you want a bit of fun, put it in the manual. And I think that's a brilliant idea. But unfortunately, Matty, I don't think we'll be getting one anytime soon.
Only 50 are going to be made as well.
Yes, it's going to cost $3.65 million. It's just a shame that all the cars on this car news pretty much are
out of our
over
reach.
100,000. Yeah, pretty much. Unless this podcast somehow blows up and we become millionaires, Matty.
Or we could just buy a Nissan Townstar.
Yes, I might do that. I think that's the best car this month. Purely because of the name. It's not even a car, it's a van. So it's just... the final car, though, Matty, we have is... Well, it's not really a car, to be honest. It is a car, but it's not a car that I see myself as a practical sort of choice for the consumer. It's called the McLaren Solus GT. Again, these are very interesting names this month, like for everything that we've said this week. But if you look at it, it's very much like a... I don't know if you've played the new Gran Turismo. They've got these like vision cars in Gran Turismo, which are basically like concept cars of original cars that they've already made.
Oh, okay.
And it's only sort of Gran Turismo, but it looks like one of these sort of thing. Now this has a 5.2 litre V10, naturally aspirated. I'm liking the theme this month of petrol cars, and it only weighs a ton because it's made of like fully carbon fibre pretty much, and very light aluminium, and it's got 800 horsepower, so you can imagine how fast that is. Yeah. And obviously it's got stupidly, it's a one-seater, it's got stupid downforce, it's almost F1 territory really. And that will cost £3 million. I don't know if you can use it on the road. I assume not, because look at it, it's not very roadworthy, is it really?
No, I'm just looking at a close-up now of how far it is up from the ground, and I would literally say, I don't know where the floor starts, but I would literally say half a metre, if that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in terms of how high it is, I agree.
Sorry, half a foot, I'm thinking, yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much that, and that is all the car news. It's a bit of a long car news this week, and we've that's kind of all we're refocusing on this podcast.
That's all we've got time
Matty,
for, the car news this week.
Obviously, you said that you did try to book a guest on Matty. Is that right?
I did. We're doing a Car of the Year through history themed podcast, and as soon as we can get hold of our guest, who's very keen to come on, he may be on next month or the month after. But yeah,
perfect. Well, that sounds good, and that's all we have for this month, unfortunately. But we hope you enjoyed the car news, and hopefully we given you some consumer advice if you are looking for a Bugatti or a McLaren
or an electric Nissan van.
Yes, called the, how can I forget the name? The Townstar. There we go. Now, Matty, do you want to plug your social medias in? Yes,
of course. If you want to see more of myself, you can see my own YouTube channel, Matty's Cars. You could be my 1,538th subscriber or something like that. Very exclusive club. Also on Instagram, Matty's Cars YT. And if you want to see me holding my godson, then you can follow Mattgram99 if you're weird like that.
Well, thank you very much for that, Matty. I still don't understand how you come up with something new every month for that personal account thing, but very well done. Same with us. If you want to subscribe to us on the channel, which is obviously where this video and podcast will be going up on, then please do. That would be much appreciated. And if you want to be our, I don't even know how many subscribers we're on now. It's 1,762 or something.
It's not a competition.
No, it's not. But we were neck and neck for a while, actually.
We really were. I thought it was going to stay like that forever, but obviously it's good because my club's more exclusive than yours.
I think it is, actually. I agree with you, because there's more. I think you generally get more sort of people who subscribe to you for like your general content, whereas some people subscribe to me just for like one review, that sort of thing, so they never watch my stuff again, which is a shame. So if you do want to be an exclusive member of my club, then please join us.
If you want to be a repeat subscriber,
yes, which is very rare on our channel for some reason. But as usual, you want to follow us on TikTok. It's Car Culture Club YT, and we post sort of, I get my mate Harry to run the account, and he basically just posts like random TikTok videos of our recent episodes, behind the scenes, and just funny little clips that we might have recorded over our shoot days. So you can follow us on that if you want to see that sort of stuff. And obviously Instagram is carculture_YT. That's for all the latest updates on videos releasing and again behind the scenes sort of stuff. And I'm going to do a Matty, and if you want to follow me personally, my account is Bayley Prickett27 on Instagram, and that's where you can see me going on holiday every 5 minutes. But that's all we have for now. We do hope you enjoyed, as usual, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Goodbye.